Good morning, plastic people.
Beware Romulans bearing gifts. Also beware of secret Romulan operatives who may have already infiltrated your planet. Jean-Luc Picard has rejoined the fight and has begun the search for Data, Soji, Maddox, etc. But is he too late? Star Trek Picard continues, so welcome back to SYFY WIRE's Warp Factor Picard Edition, Episode 2. Engage! Prepare for another mission briefing. All crew to spoiler stations because we're about to go up the long ladder. If you haven't watched this episode, shields up! Episode 2 is titled Maps and Legends, but it should really be called This Drama Runs Deep. Soji continues to work on the Borg Cube, which is really a Borg artifact research initiative, working to turn former Borg, XBs, back to their former selves. Many different species are involved in the project, but the Romulans do seem to be in charge. That's great. Back on Earth, it's clear to Picard, Laris, and Zhaban that the old Romulan secret police, the Tal Shiar, is working on Earth, and that the whole organization is really a mask that has been put over a far older cabal called the Zhat Vash. Classic Romulan nesting doll of secret situation. There's a reason you'll never see Romulans with synthetics or AI. The Zhat Vash hates and fears all artificial life. We have no idea why. Picard barely manages to get medical clearance to return to duty, but we're aghast and horrified when he's shut down by the too cool for Picard School C&C Admiral Clancy, who then informs Commodore O, Starfleet's Director of Security, a Vulcan, all about it.
Picard again. And we all thought that he was safely mothballed on that vineyard of his. All these years, the hermit of Labar. Now suddenly he is inescapable. That's one word for what he is.
Clancy is awful and O is a traitor. Great stuff all around, guys. Seriously great. It's like the whole place has gone full Section 31. Well done. Picard seeks help from Raffi Mussaker, Michelle heard, who definitely hates him, but all it takes are the words, secret Romulan assassins operating on Earth, and a bottle of the 86 for her to let him back in. I'm gonna remember that trick. Commodore O spills the tea to Lieutenant Rizzo, Peyton List, and then tells her to stay on mission while the Commodore deals with Picard. Rizzo then holocalls Narek, who is disgusted by her disguise and her rounded ears. Also, Narek and Soji are getting it on. Gross, but also, no, just gross.
Sokat! His eyes uncovered!
Sokat! His eyes uncovered! We actually see the Mars attack happen from inside the famous Utopia Planitia shipyards in the opening, and it happens on First Contact Day, a day we know holds great importance in the Trek world. There were many synthetics working on Mars at the time, and one of them was F8. Don't refer to them as plastic people. Tal Shiar, the Romulan secret police, were introduced in the TNG Season 6 episode Face of the Enemy, but were then thought destroyed during an ill-advised joint mission to the Gamma Quadrant with the Cardassian Obsidian Order in the Dyer's Cast from Season 3 of Deep Space Nine. We heard about them again in DS9 Season 6 classic In the Pale Moonlight, as well as in Voyager's Message in a Bottle, the Andy Dick episode. They were never gone for good, but this is the first time we're ever hearing about the Zhat Vash, the synthetics-hating cabal that's apparently been behind them the whole time, so welcome. While Laris and Zhaban explain all of this to Jean-Luc, we get references to Romulan ale, the Klingon Empire, and the Gorn hegemony. Romulan ale, it should be mentioned, is almost always illegal and embargoed, except for one time during the Dominion War when Admiral Ross lifted the embargo in solidarity with the Federation's Romulan allies. He mentions this in Deep Space Nine's Season 7 in the episode Inter Arma Enim Sila Leges. Anyone speak Latin?
You said I'd find you out here.
Moritz!
Hello, Jean-Luc.
The doctor that Picard gets medical clearance from is Moritz Benayoun, David Paymer, who served with him on the Stargazer, Picard's command prior to the Enterprise. Benayoun is worried about giving the clearance because of Picard's parietal lobe abnormality, which we heard about in the TNG finale All Good Things. We suppose that it is a real defect and that it can still cause a number of illnesses, including, we imagine, Irumodic syndrome. The prognosis is not good. We see Starfleet's new uniforms more clearly when Jean-Luc visits Starfleet Command, which is a hot new blend of the DS9 pattern look with something somewhat similar to the Enterprise-era collars. Looks good. They include new comm badges that are similar to the future version seen in All Good Things. Starfleet Command has obviously been rebuilt after it was attacked by the Breen during the Dominion War on DS9, and it's looking pretty snappy. Floating in the main atrium is a giant hologram of the classic retrofitted Enterprise, possibly the version seen on Discovery. We're unsure, we're looking into it, which turns into a hologram of the Enterprise D. There's no mistaking that. We've never heard the name XBs applied to former or transitioning Borg before, but turning back these drones is supposedly the purpose of the Borg Artifact Institute. That and giving us shots of body horror as they just rip pieces of Borg tech off of beings who are still alive. Thanks for those images, they'll be in my dreams like forever. Thankfully, there are plenty of Andorians on that cube because of reasons. There's still a risk the collective could re-establish a link to this cube so the Borg as a whole aren't gone. Worry not. But Narek doesn't take them seriously. Does he take anything seriously? Probably not. Dr. Jurati shares her fondness for Earl Grey while telling Jean-Luc that Dodge's life and records were a complete work of fiction. And later on, Picard takes out and uses his old Generations era comm badge. Yeah. We haven't met too many Commodores in Trek. They're almost always in the original series, so Commodore O stands out. A conspiracy within Starfleet makes us think of Section 31 and also about a billion other Trek episodes and films, from Star Trek VI to DS9's Homefront. Everyone's always shocked when this happens, but it happens a lot. Like, seriously, a lot. This is a galaxy where almost every admiral we meet is either evil, insane, or both, except for you, Admiral Ross. I'll always love you. Rest in peace, Barry Jenner. Lieutenant Rizzo's human disguise is the reverse of what the Tal Shiar did to Deanna Troi in TNG's Face of the Enemy, so the Tal Shiar may be secret, but they aren't very original. You're not Tal Shiar. Riker, Worf, and LaForge are all mentioned by Zhaban as potential crew, and Jean-Luc has no doubt each one would follow him out of loyalty alone, but that's exactly why he can't ask them, and he needs someone who hates him and has nothing to lose.
I just want to talk.
There isn't anything you could say that I want to hear.
Hey, Raffi. For more background on everything in this episode, go back to the Academy and check out Face of the Enemy from TNG Season 6, Improbable Cause and the Die Is Cast from DS9 Season 3, and why not the classic Balance of Terror from the original series Season 1. That always goes down smooth.
Your preference? We have a selection.
Earl Grey?
I knew there was something about you.
Earl Grey never fails. Dr. Jurati agrees, and it is much better than Romulan ale. Once again, too many good quotes to choose from, but I'm assuming I, once again, have to choose just one? Yep. Yeah, thanks for nothing, Dave. Fine, I will make it so. When Jean-Luc sees Dr. Jurati with a volume written by sci-fi legend Isaac Asimov in his study, he delivers a line that just can't be beat for the sheer fourth-wall-breaking glee that it inspires. Jean-Luc Picard, played by Sir Patrick Stewart, actually says,
You have a taste for the classics, I see. I never really cared for science fiction. I guess I just didn't get it.
So clutch, Jean-Luc, and well done, show. Earl Grey never fails. What will happen next? Well, it's time to venture once again into the undiscovered country. Tal Shiar, Zhat Vash, Starfleet infiltrated, a CNC who yells at Picard and makes him respond, "Ignore me at your peril." How did this happen? As Captain Benjamin Lafayette Sisko once said, it's easy to be a saint in paradise. Yeah, paradise looks like it's falling apart. Will Raffi lead to Rios, and who exactly is the director of the Borg artifact project that Soji mentions? If they are reclaiming former Borg, that seems like a possible job for Hugh, does it not? Will the Romulan involvement in the Dominion War from Deep Space Nine be addressed? We thought we were cool after that, but perhaps the discretion of Romulus changed things? Or what if the Romulans have finally found out that they were duped into joining the Dominion War, and that resentment is somewhat fueling some of this? I mean, they got by the emissary of the Prophets and a Cardassian super spy / Taylor. They wouldn't just let that slide if they knew about it. Also, Crusher Watch! Every other main cast member from TNG has either been name-dropped or is scheduled to appear, except for Beverly. When he needs to see a doctor, Picard sees someone from the Stargazer. For Paymer's sake, Beverly's name is not even mentioned. Coincidence? Or are they setting up something for later? It's the latter. Our hailing frequencies are open. Time for the answer to last week's quiz, which is just heating up the internet. We asked, did Picard make the right decision in leaving Starfleet when he did? The answers went as follows. 3.2% voted, screw the Romulans. 11.1% voted, no, he should have stayed. 30.2% voted, he made the right choice. The clear winner, though, with 55.6% of the vote was, depends. More info required. Something tells us we'll get that info. Be sure to check out this week's quiz on Twitter. Can you ever really trust the Romulans? Most signs seems to point to a firm no, but then we have Laris and Zhaban, and I'd personally die for either one of them. I don't know. So if I can't make the tough decisions, maybe I should make room for someone who can. One viewer of our last episode pointed out that Narek said he used to have a brother, not a twin. This viewer is correct. That was Dave's fault, not mine. In any case, we admit, Shaka, when the walls fell. You get it. Another viewer commented that they would also like to see Q return. I agree completely. Season 2 would be a great place to bring him in, as he and Guinan certainly have some unfinished business. That thing, remember that? Guinan did that? What was that? We still don't know. We also have a red alert in terms of memes. Though we didn't see it happening, people are already replacing the classic Picard facepalm meme with a new facepalm meme from this series. We guess some memes, like certain vintages of Picard wine, only get better with age. Be sure to check out the featured article, Cannotated, on SYFYWire.com for more references and connections. You can always find us there, unless we're undercover somewhere else. Damn. Those Romulans. Well, some of those Romulans, not all. Definitely not all. Why do the Jadvash hate all artificial life so much? Do they have a point? Romulan ale should be illegal. Blue whales smiling at me. Soji, please don't trust Narek. Seriously though, do they know what Sisko and Garrick did? You know, I'm a very good tailor.